there, it's me again. This week with a kind of more thoughtful topic. I had an awful lot of time lately to think about how my relationship to my high school friends changed through me getting more into metal. I realized that I always felt like they wouldn't accept me anymore as much as they did before, and I felt this feeling of rejection again. But I also realized that that doesn't bother me that much anymore than it did before I excessively listened to alternative music. So I thought, how is that? And I have my black painted book again, and I wrote some thoughts down, and I'm just going to have a look at these while I talk, because this video is going to be way too long if I don't do this. Music, that's the first thing, is something that everyone listens to every day for the most part. We share our thoughts about popular music at school or social events that we are going to with people we know from these places. I mean, work and school and college for some people. When you start listening to metal, you change something about yourself that is the same for many people who only listen to the radio or stuff that is in the charts at the moment. And the problem with that is that these differences between the person who listens to alternative music and the person who listens to popular music might lead to that the person who listens to the alternative music starts getting annoyed over the popular music. And if you actually only have friends who mostly listen to popular music, and the few parts that you always listen to popular music always differed from the stuff that your friends heard. Like for me, that was, I was listening to Lady Gaga a lot, while my friends were like, no, that's totally bullshit and shitty music and all this stuff. But I found some of her songs, just like the songs by Pink and other stuff, they had something more deep in it. This beginning of being annoyed with these friends who don't let you put on your music, and you kind of get this grudge against them, which I had a bit, I must confess. And I felt kind of alienated from these friends through that, because they sometimes said stuff like, yeah, I like them too, but let's not listen to them right now. There are artists who used to be big in popular music in, let's say, the 90s up to 2012 or something, when they were talking about politics and when they were talking about discrimination and when they were talking about tolerance and equality in their songs. But I don't feel like that is a topic these days anymore in popular music. Where does this train of thought bring you? You start getting accepted into the community of alternative people in your area. Like, some month ago I made a video about where I said that I didn't have any alternative friends, but by now that has changed lots, because I'm in a band now and they are all listening to metal and I'm singing metal there and we're making metal music. And the point in that is that you finally feel accepted in what you like and who you want to be and who you are as a person, because I for myself right now can say that I became the person that I always wanted to be. And by being accepted in some way yourself, which also my boyfriend has helped me a lot with, leads to the point that you start accepting that it's okay to have a different taste. So you also accept that your friends who are not alternative have a different taste from the taste that you feel you have. And that brings you to the point where you start thinking about why metal is actually your favorite music. And so I thought about, why do people listen to alternative music? And there are some cases that sometimes add up, sometimes parts of that happen. The first thing that might have happened is that often the people who in the end up listening to alternative music have parents or relatives that listen to alternative music as well. Something that lets you search for something new and different, or for more deep and important topics. Like I just said, the topics in popular music are getting worse. It's like the #1 hits are about sex or love or partying. And that's what most people are searching for in their music. Like this, having fun instead of thinking about stuff. Whilst in alternative music, I very often saw that the topics differed from that, being like tolerance, or being the destruction of nature, or politics, or equality in general, or about bullying and against bullying. And for other people, it might just be nostalgia. Because maybe a person, a parent or an uncle or something, who always used to listen to that music, which has its origins in the last century, would be dead, and so they start thinking about, oh no, that's so sad, because that might have been a nice person, and they would, to feel more connected to this person, would start listening to their music. Now to the part of how alternative people are going to accept non-alternative people. So the first thing that I feel for me has paved the way to this is that I felt really, really bad for being bullied by my friends for not listening to their popular music. And maybe alternative people are not coming from a place where they first listened to metal and then never ended, or listened to gothic rock or something, alternative music, like I said. Maybe they want to listen to popular music themselves, like I did. I also listened as a baby to metal because my father would always dance with me to that, but that might also be a part of that. And then comes the realization that maybe it's not even possible for people who don't listen to alternative music and who never got into it, that it might be impossible for these people to even understand people who listen to it. Because the topics differ, like I just said. It cannot be said that it isn't the case that pop music slowly turned into music that was just there for fun, and that the artist in the end didn't want to bring a message anymore. Pop music industry nowadays is like, make money off it or die. I find that sad. And I can remember when I was younger that there would still be artists, popular artists who were very popular and successful in what they did. They would be on the charts all the time, like Pink, Dear Mr. President, or Raise Your Glass, something like that, about tolerance or politics. Just giving a message with your songs. And yeah, nowadays it's just everything fun. And that's why, in the end, as an alternative person, you are able to understand why there are differences and why there must be differences. I, for myself, and I know that some people don't share this opinion, I am very, very glad that there is still new music being made nowadays that still has important topics. Important topics like equality, things we need to talk about, integration, or war, and anything like that. With it being popular to go out on the streets and act against the things that go wrong in this world, like end of the 60s, beginning of the 70s, beginning of the 80s. You would have this popular music that still had a meaning to it. But nowadays, when the people who used to belong to this generation of people who did this are getting kids who are taught that their parents fought these fights for them so they could live in a better world, and that I did it for them, and that they are supposed to be happy. And with this thought, that is something that I'm not saying that you shouldn't tell your children that they are supposed to be happy, but I feel like you should tell your children that it's not only important to be happy and have fun in your life, but that it's also important that they do something so that this world can stay as good as it is or even get better. And I feel like some people who listen to popular music either don't like thinking about these bad things happening, or they do this on a different level because it was not something in their pop culture that did this, but something that they have seen on the streets or that they thought about at school. So I hope you liked it. If you did so, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment, subscribe to my channel if you want to, and follow my social media. The links to that are in the description box. I hope you have a wonderful week, and goodbye!